All right, let's get into it. For centuries, we've been searching for, like, a single code that explains everything, right? Looking through telescopes, smashing particles together. But what if the key wasn't out there? What if it was locked inside the human mind all along?
I know, it sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie, but that's the wild question at the heart of our story today. It starts with a pretty traumatic event and ends up questioning the very nature of reality itself.
So this story isn't just about physics in a lab. It's about a man who claims he can see it. And this sudden, profound change in how he saw the world, that's where we begin.
So I want you to meet Jason Padgett. Before his injury, he was just a regular guy. But then, after a really violent mugging, something just unlocked in his brain. And the world he woke up to, it was not the same one he knew before, not even close.
So what did he see? Well, his vision became incredibly specific. Like a simple tree or a puddle of water wasn't just a tree anymore. To him, it was this living, breathing math problem, a whole web of geometric lines and patterns. He even saw reality differently. It wasn't smooth and continuous. It was like a movie, a series of distinct snapshots, one after another. And the craziest part? With zero formal training, he suddenly just understood the complex physics behind all these images. It's an incredibly rare condition, and it's called acquired savant syndrome.
And for Padgett, his mission became crystal clear. He said, "The truth of what I'm seeking lies in the beauty of what I see." So for him, understanding the universe wasn't about memorizing equations. It was about capturing this incredible beauty he could now see everywhere. And what's wild is that his personal quest, it just so happens to run parallel to one of the biggest questions in modern physics. Which brings us to this question. Is reality actually made of information? See, at the same time Padgett was seeing the world as a geometric code, some scientists were proposing this really radical new idea. That the universe isn't just made of matter and energy, but something else entirely. Information. Okay, the theory has a pretty big name. The Mass-Energy-Information Equivalence Principle. I know, it's a mouthful, but the core idea is absolutely stunning. It suggests that information, the data that describes a particle, a star, or even you and me, isn't just some abstract concept. Nope, it's a physical, fundamental part of the universe, and it actually has its own mass.
Think about what that means. This principle is basically saying that the blueprint of reality is just as real as the building itself. Like, the genetic code in your DNA isn't just a pattern, it's a physical thing that literally adds to your mass. The universe, from this point of view, is writing itself into existence. And that sounds a lot like what Jason Padgett claims he sees every single day.
Okay, but a theory this huge, it needs proof, right? So how on earth could you weigh a piece of information? Well, it turns out you don't weigh it, you erase it, and you look for the flash.
And that's where physicist Dr. Melvin Vopson comes in. He proposed this really ingenious experiment to test this exact idea. His plan takes this from a what-if philosophical question and turns it into something concrete, something you can actually test in a lab.
Okay, so let's walk through how this would work. First, you take a particle, say an electron, and its antimatter twin, a positron. Then you smash them together. Bam! They annihilate each other in a flash, converting all their mass into energy, which shoots off as a couple of gamma-ray photons. We've known about that part for decades. But, and this is the really important part, the theory says the information that made that electron an electron, well, it has to go somewhere too. So the whole point of the experiment is to look for two extra photons, two really low-energy photons that would be the literal signature of that information being erased from existence.
So if Dr. Vopson is right, this experiment wouldn't just be detecting particles, it would be detecting the ghosts of the data itself, a physical echo of information, just ceasing to exist.
And get this, the theory makes an incredibly specific prediction. The signature they're looking for isn't just any random flash of light. Oh no, it's a flash of light with a very, very particular wavelength.
That wavelength is predicted to be around 50 micrometers. These would be infrared photons, and they should only be released when the particle's information is destroyed. So finding photons at this exact wavelength, that would be the smoking gun.
And that's really the bottom line here. If they detect this, it would be the first ever physical proof of pure information. Not the particle, not the energy, but the data that defined what the particle was.
And if they find it, wow, the implications are just staggering. It would mean that information is officially the fifth state of matter. The whole mass-energy information principle would be confirmed, Our fundamental understanding of the universe would have to be completely rewritten.
But let's bring this back to Jason Padgett for a minute, because while physicists are designing these incredible experiments, his personal story has faced some really intense scrutiny. So is his vision a genuine insight into the fabric of reality? Or is it something else entirely?
So you've got two very different sides to this story. On the one hand, Padgett's experience is it's really compelling. I mean, neuroscientists have looked at his brain and confirmed he has unique brain processes, and his vision led him to create his own theory of everything called QIH, which says everything is just information carried by light. But then on the other hand, the scientific community has been, let's just say, deeply skeptical. You've got critics on forums calling his work pseudoscience and rambling nonsense. They point out that his papers seem to just throw around physics buzzwords incorrectly, or that they even look like they were generated by an AI. He's even been accused of making some pretty basic mistakes in number theory, which kind of undermines his whole claim to mathematical genius.
So where does all this leave us? Well, we have these two parallel stories, right? One is this journey of scientific exploration, and the other is a journey of personal perception. And both of them are pointing toward a reality that is just so much stranger than we could possibly imagine.
And this is maybe Padgett's most provocative claim of all. He says, "I believe I am living proof that these powers lie dormant in all of us." So he's not just saying that he sees the world differently. He's suggesting that this ability, this connection to the underlying code of reality, isn't unique to him. It's a potential that's just waiting inside every single one of us.
And that really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? Whether his physics is right or wrong, his experience forces us to confront this incredible possibility, that the human brain isn't just a passenger in the universe, that it's deeply, fundamentally tangled up with its very structure. Which leaves us with one final, mind-bending thought. We seem to live inside a universe that's governed by information, by some kind of cosmic code. But what's the relationship between our consciousness and that code? Are our brains simply receivers, just decoding a reality that's already written? Or are they the authors? Is our perception somehow helping to write reality, moment by moment? Now that is a question that science is only just beginning to ask.